Good morning, friends, and thank you for tuning in and supporting another shorty episode of 10 Minutes with Tammy, where we focus on all things for parents of children, teens, and young adults with special needs. From quick and helpful actionable tips, strategies, and tools to transparently talking about our trials and definitely celebrating our triumphs. If you think that this podcast could be helpful for anyone in your network or your community, please share it out. Now, for those of you who may not know me, my name is Tammy Flynn, and I am your special needs advocate and educator, and the host and producer of the On Air Advocate podcast and broadcast. And as the title says, we are here to talk about all things better sleep for your child as well as yourself when you are in the hospital for a stay. Now, we're going to make this into like a whole list, and I want you to know that these are all things that have worked for us as a family from our own personal experiences. So I'm hoping that you will be able to extract some of the items out of here, and they will be useful as well for you. After this episode, if there is anything that you think could be added, definitely drop it below this podcast episode. Now, in addition to being excited about sharing all of this with you guys today, I just want you guys to know that I am so thankful for everyone's patience and grace as I have been away for about the last month and a half, as I have been doing the hospital hustle myself with my son that has chronic medical needs as well as special needs. And actually, during some of that time of being in and out of the hospital, I came up with even a few more that I wanted to add to this list. So, like I said, I am hoping that some of these things can be helpful for you. So, as you guys know, I try to keep this whole thing for 10 minutes. So I'm setting my timer right now. I'm going to try to buzz through these as a list. I am going to try to put together actually for a different episode, like a full hospital checklist. So as soon as that is up, I will put the link below in this podcast for you guys. But as of right now, maybe grab a pen and a piece of paper. So to start with, one of my biggest things that works for us the best is bringing your own pillow. Me bringing my own pillow, my son bringing his own pillow, both of us for that overnight stay. And the kicker is always remembering that you have your own pillowcase. Because as you guys know, if you've stayed in the hospital quite a bit, those pillowcase covers and like the sheets can be very, very itchy and uncomfortable. The pillows are plasticky that are in there, and it's just not very much comfort while you're sleeping. So if your child is at that age appropriate level that a pillow would be appropriate, definitely making sure to bring their own and one for you. The next would be to bring your favorite blanket. This would be for your child and for yourself. I always throw one of those fuzzy, like the lammy kind of blankets. Is it warm and cuddly? I bring that blanket along of my own, and then also my son's favorite blanket from home as well. In addition, if the hospital will let you, you could, if you're going to be there for a long extended hospital stay, you could bring along your sheets as well. Not for you, because obviously you're going to be on the couch or on the chair, but for your child, if that helps, because I know that my son has complained over the years a lot about just the uncomfortableness of those sheets and whatever they wash them in. So if the hospital will allow you to do the sheets, I know they'll let you do the other things. I would definitely bring those in. The next thing is some type of a music box. Now, my favorite one is from Sharper Image. I don't know if it's still available. If it is, I will link it below. But this Sharper Image calming music box has like 12 different settings on it, and it can be plugged into the wall or it can be battery operated. And we have used it for so many hospital stays. Now, obviously, with technology, you could use your iPhone or a tablet or something like that. The only problem is that if there is a lot of unconsolable times or times that it may be needed during the day, you may need to use your phone or your iPad or whatever for something else where you wouldn't be able to play the music. So it's kind of nice to have one that's a little bit detachable, and it's its own product for that. But like I said, if that one from Sharper Image is still available or something like it, I will link it in the show notes. Additionally, essential oils. Now, I am not an oil expert, but I have about 5 oils that I do love, not only for myself, but for my son. And if you are in the oil game, I guess you'd say it all. I know that you can use oil not only to spray for the scent, like on your sheets and things like that, but you can also massage it in with lotion, for, that calming effect, like to the feet and whatnot. If the hospital will allow it, you can bring a little diffuser if they are okay with that, just to put some lavender or whatever in the air, just for that calming and helping with sleep, because it is such a struggle. The next thing would be any type of heated packs that you may have, those ones that heat up in the microwave at home, or any type of ice packs that way. I have found many times for the different surgeries and stuff we've had, my son really likes like a heating pack on his stomach or on his back, as well as sometimes an ice pack is needed. And at the hospital, they only have like these really, really tiny poppable packs. And sometimes they don't even have those. And then they just have like cold rags. In addition to that, they have like a water machine. I'm sure some of you have seen it, where the water filters through it and it just has some warm water. But usually it's not the warmth that you get from those ones that are put in the microwave. I have never had a problem with the staff not going to heat them up or allowing me to go heat them up or get them out of the freezer. I would just say to make sure, like if you're going to have it laying in the freezer, that it's labeled, that it has like a Ziploc bag that you're holding your stuff in, just so it doesn't get mixed up with anybody else's. I know they also make those heated stuffed animals. That is also an option as well. Now, these next ones are things that you could talk about with your nurse, your medical team, and see if they are appropriate or not. But asking about melatonin, melatonin really, really can help. Obviously, it has to be depending on your child's age, their medical needs, if it is appropriate or not, but that is an option. In addition to that, having a conversation about at night with the night nurse or your medical team as a whole, of how you can get your child to have better sleep, which in turn, obviously, you will get better sleep from, with the monitors buzzing, and when meds are done, it starts beeping, and when their oxygen saturation drops, it's beeping again. Now, obviously, you don't want to put your child at any risk for them not being notified, but sometimes they can have the buzzers going on outside of the room, so they're alerted right away, or they can time it out that they know when the IV fluids are going to be done, or they can change them a little bit before they're going to be done, just so that if your child is sleeping, that the monitors and the buzzing doesn't wake them up. Now, for you, I would make sure as the parent that you bring along comfy clothes. And I bring stuff, whether it's summer or winter, wherever you live, I'd bring both sets. So I bring something if you're cold and something if you're warm. I have always found that those hospital rooms get super, super cold at night. And so I'm always feeling like I'm like shivering. So having some, warm cotton pants, socks, all of that kind of stuff, a hoodie, and then having something if you do get hot is very, very helpful. Now, for your child, though, you also, as you bring cuddly warm socks, you can bring socks and things like that for them, which may give them more comfort, or their type of like undergarments. But obviously, they'll have to wear the hospital robe while they're there. For yourself too, not forgetting those like slippers. So if you are having to walk across the floor, that if you're just waking up to do one thing and trying to lay back down again, your feet aren't ice cold, and then that really wakes you up. Now, I always find that before laying down, if I'm not fresh at all, like my face isn't washed, my teeth aren't brushed, it really doesn't give you kind of that calming down. The same thing, for your child, like if they are at the age to either brush their teeth or wash their face or any of that in the hospital setting before bed. It's so good. So I always actually bring all of my skincare, toothbrush, toothpaste, all of that sort of thing, any type of lotions. And now for your child, you may want to bring in case they don't have any, like the children's lavender body wash, the children's lavender lotion, because that can really, really help as well. Now, if you are a female or a male that has longer hair, I know that when I sleep and, you might not have gotten a washer here, just getting it out of your face can help with sleeping and it not irritating your scalp and that sort of thing. So making sure you have a hair tie, because how many times does someone go somewhere and we forget to bring a hair tie? So always remember that. I feel like some people will be like, that doesn't drive better sleep, but if you have a lot of hair, it definitely does. As I said, making sure that you have comfortable undergarments to wear as well. Lip balm. And I would bring one that's safe for your child, whether this is a little bit of Vaseline on yourself, because obviously if your lips are chapped and peeling and all of that, that doesn't, bring much comfort for calming down and going to sleep. Now, for yourself, or maybe your child is age appropriate enough, maybe the calming sounds, they like them in headphones, where you can put them on for yourself or your child, or maybe you listen to a book on tape to fall asleep and they listen to a different sound. By having some headphones, earbuds, those kind of things along with you can definitely help with that. But we know when we start bringing those things, we definitely need to have charging cords and those extra power packs and whatnot, if we don't have an outlet that's super close to us, that sort of thing. Next would be hard candy or any type of cough drops of any kind can be really, really helpful for yourself. Obviously, hospital rooms get very, very dry. And if your throat is crackly and sore and dry, that makes it very hard for you to go to sleep as well. Now, obviously, if your child's the one in the hospital, whatever is appropriate for them. I always bring my own gallon of water. So 1 or 2 gallons of water in case it's the middle of the night. I don't want to open the door, because sometimes creaking the door open definitely could wake up your child. And we know we don't want to do that. And so sometimes I'll have the nurse bring a couple cups in, but then I bring one of those big gallons and just refill those cups, especially during the middle of the night when it's not like as easily accessible. And the same thing, if your child is allowed to drink unlimited water, that sort of thing, at least you have some on hand. For yourself, definitely a snack. And obviously for your child, if it's appropriate, it's very, very hard to sleep if, let's say, you haven't eaten for 10 hours and your stomach is just growling. That doesn't help for more restful sleep either. So to make sure that you have some kind of cracker or something calming on hand, obviously nothing that has caffeine in it. Next up would be to not forget to bring along your own like Motrin, Tylenol, ibuprofen. I can't tell you how, or if you have medication at home. I suffer from migraines. And if you forget one of those things, I mean, that can be catastrophic in itself. By the time that you're able to go and get yourself something, a lot of times you are just, as a parent, feeling completely awful, aside from not having a ton of sleep and worry on your head. Now, for my son, I always do bring along his med bag as well. I don't know who can relate, and if you can, please, drop it in the comments under the podcast. It is how many times we've gotten to a hospital and they can't get the meds up right away. They can't get his things. Sometimes they can't get them for a whole day. At least if you have a backup supply of things that your child is used to, and that could maybe include melatonin if they do that at home, at least you have the backup that could possibly be given in the interim until they're able to get something for you guys. Next would be Tums or any type of products that would be good for an upset stomach. Again, if your stomach is hurting bad and you're feeling nauseous and all of that, that's not a very easy way to sleep either. My next favorite is any type of calming tea, and that would include throat coat is one of my favorites when it's very, very dry in a room. They also have like the sleepy tea, the stress relief tea. Now, granted, you might not have hot water, but I mean, it really served the same lukewarm water that's in the big gallon of water for you to pour that in and be able to have it. That can really calm things down. If you're not able to get hot water, it works. I mean, for me, it works just about the same. So I'm looking here because I made a whole list of things that I'm going to have on the full hospital checklist. And that is about 60 different items, but I'm just buzzing through here real quick because I'm going to do this kind of as a two-part. I'm going to do this one and then one for the full list. And then I will be putting together a free downloadable with the full checklist for everyone. So I think the only other thing that I would say that maybe I didn't mention would be for your child, if there is any type of calming animal, fidget, like a toy or anything like that, aside from their blanket or their pillow that they need to fall asleep for calming, or maybe if they're at the age that they're still using a Nook or any of those types of things, making sure that you have those extra along, because that is, not going to help them if they don't have the normal things that they usually use for calming themselves down. So with that, I don't know how fast I talked, but I think I did that in about 10 or 12 minutes. So I'm pretty excited about that. So with that, I just want to, once again, like I always remind yourself through this process, remember to always give yourself grace. Remember that this is not a sprint, it is a marathon, and we are all in this together for the long run. I so appreciate you guys for listening in today. And in addition to that, I want to let you guys know that I do hang out most on the On Air Advocate, the Instagram page. So if you want to interact, shoot DMs up and back, any of that kind of stuff, head over there. Also, I will link our special needs toolkit for parents below. I put that in some of the other episodes, but you can grab that. So I'll shoot the link for that, all the other links I talked about. And with that, I just wanted to wish you guys a very, very blessed day. I am so excited to be back. We have about 3 weeks of a reprieve before we're back in the hospital. So you might see that I have a whole bunch of podcasts come out at one time, but I have figured out that within my special needs journey, that this is the way we got to do it, is I got to get the stuff out and got to get done. And then it's back to the hospital. And it's just the way that it's going to go. So with that, if you see a whole bunch come out, just know that I haven't lost my mind. There is a method to my madness. I just want to be able to share. So with that, again, I appreciate all of you guys. And until next time, bye-bye, everyone.